Welcome back. We're continuing to look at adding and subtracting rational expressions. In our last video, we looked at basic fractions, adding and subtracting, using this idea of the common denominator. In this next video, we are going to look at examples where we have a denominator that is a monomial. So here's an example. I have the denominator of each of these rational expressions is a monomial. So I have 3a squared divided by 16b squared minus 8x divided by 5a cubed b. And I want to simplify this, or I want to add or subtract. I want to subtract the second term from the first. I have monomial denominators. I'm going to work through these exactly the same way that I worked through the last. I'm going to need to find a least common denominator. So I'm looking for that common denominator. So if I look at factors in my first denominator, I have 16b squared. And in my second denominator, I'm going to be looking for things that don't already appear in 16b squared. So 5 is not a factor. A cubed is not a factor. But b already appears in there, so I don't need to include it. So that's going to make my denominator 16 times 5, which is 80, a cubed b squared. So I have 3a squared over 16b squared minus 8x over 5a cubed b. And I need to get a common denominator by multiplying by a convenient value of 1. This term is going to be multiplied by whatever is necessary to make the denominator 80a cubed over b squared, which is going to be 5a cubed. So I'm going to make that a convenient value of 1, 5a cubed over 5a cubed. Over here, I'm going to multiply by what's necessary. This is missing a factor of 16 and b squared. So that'll be 16b squared over 16b squared. This numerator here becomes 15a to the 5th. 5 times 16 is going to be 80a cubed b squared. It matches my least common denominator, so I'm good. Minus 8 times 16 is going to give me 128 b squared x divided by 5 times 16 is 80. A cubed, b times b squared is going to give me b cubed, and I actually only want b squared. So instead of this being b squared, this should have been b. So that's just going to be b there. This is a good way to check to make sure you've done the right thing. So 16b was what that needed to be. So this will be 16b squared. My denominators look exactly the same, so this becomes 15a to the 5th minus 128bx divided by 80a cubed b squared. There's no more simplifying that can be done, so that is my answer. Let's look at another example. 3y over 2x cubed plus 5z over 8xy squared. Starting by finding my least common denominator. My first denominator has 2x cubed. This, in order to make 8, I'm going to also need to multiply by another 4. The x already appears there, but I need a y squared. So that's going to make 8x cubed y squared for my least common denominator. So what's missing from my first term is going to be 4y squared in the denominator. So that's a convenient value of 1, 4y squared over 4y squared. And what's missing in my second term is just going to be an x squared. So x squared over x squared. So this becomes 12y cubed over 8x cubed y squared plus 5x squared z divided by 8x y squared, or 8x cubed y squared. Same denominator, so 12y cubed plus 5x squared z divided by 8x cubed y squared. And that is my final answer.